There's some kind of difference between the old machines and the new machine that you have now on the stage.
Well, there's a difference, but it's basically the same thing. The sounds are better. There's more memory. There's more. It's better, but it's the same machine. What's the word? It's the same. It's not the Moog. It's still the Buchla.
Okay. Do you ever be tempted to use the Moog synthesizer of the standard synthesizer?
No.
Why not?
Because the Moog synthesizer is a musical instrument with a black and white keyboard that's designed and it begs you to play old music and old new music. I was trying to create something. If I wanted to play a Bach-Brandenburg concerto, I would much rather hear it on an organ or a harpsichord with the real instruments. That's what it was made for. It's fun, it's nothing wrong with it. But as a musician, I never cared to play old music on new instruments. I was looking for a new instrument to make a new music, not a new old music.
And concerning the original recording of the Silver Apples of the Moon, one of the most striking experience in listening is the sheer amounts of dynamics that the original recording has. It was difficult to obtain that kind of dynamics. It was a time-consuming process, or was easy to record the...
Well, it was done over a period of 13 months.
Wow.
Working probably 8 to 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for 13 months with two-track tape recorders, and only one recorded. The other one only recorded and played back. The other one only played back. So it was long and tedious, and there were no mixers. The reverb was a spring reverb. The only other thing that was around was a plate reverb, the size of this wall over here, that cost thousands of dollars. So it was a tedious, long process that... And the dynamics, if you heard the Virgo, you hear the dynamics, but on the vinyl, it was really condensed. Everyone says vinyl is wonderful, but it's partly wonderful because it's condensed. It doesn't have all the highs, and you have very, very narrow dynamic range. So I was really happy when it came on Virgo, because then it was a complete. I heard it the way it
It's
usually.
flourishing. You are using the four-way PA system, a quadrophonic system. Are you panning the sounds from the 4 points, or they are statically?
No, it's not. I'm panning, but it's a different kind. Sometimes if it's a larger autochrome, I use 6, and I'd have to go back. I haven't played in that big an autochrome for a long time now, so it's mostly 4. But the sound isn't going like that. It's going around in a circle or anything. It's moving. It's got a trajectory. Each sound has it goes in different dimensions, and so it's not panned around. It's actually it's going through, and the speakers are I design it so that like you know what I mean.
And tonight you have on stage the Buchla synthesizer and the laptop. I saw something that looks like Pro Tools, or what, is Ableton? Ableton. So what's the division of
there's I'm using a Motu as the interface, the audio interface, and there are I've used almost all the inputs and outputs. The Buchla goes into the Ableton. I take an oscillator, for instance. You give an example. I take one oscillator and put it in Ableton and multiply it 4 times. So now I have one oscillator that can do 4 different things simultaneously.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. And then I send it back so that I can pan it with my panner in the Buchla. So it goes out and then back in again.
That's great.
That'll be the last chapter of the book. I'm going to document this patch because it's a very interesting. I think I haven't seen anyone else do it, but it's taking the analog equipment, multiplying it, and doing all the things you can do. I don't have that many modules because I don't need pitch shifting or anything because it's all in Ableton. So I do it, and it comes back, and it's as if I had 50 analog objects.
Yeah, sure.
And that I can use because they're in Ableton. I can actually use little tiny what do you call it? MIDI switches. I mean switches and sliders and things like that. So that it just facilitates that. There's that whole umbilical cord in between. They go back and forth, and in between I've got a little keyboard and I've got launchers where all the things that one would have, but it's going back and forth. All the things that one would have, but it's going back and forth. All the things that one would have, but it's going back and forth. All the things that one would have, but it's going back and forth. All the things that one would have, but it's going back and forth. All the things that one would have, but it's going back and forth. All the things that one would have, but it's going back and forth.